Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the Outer Worlds. We have some more town to explore here. Presumably, there's going to be more people in town who want us to do more things for them. I mean, it is a video game after all. And I've been thinking a little bit about like who our character is. What is this building? The cantina. Okay. Life in the Vale got you down? Come drink your misery away. Yes, alcohol, the solution to all life's problems, right? Also, I think there's another part to that saying, but I can't remember it right now. It's probably not important. Hey there, what's up, Amelia?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
If only McDevitt's folk hadn't abandoned us, Cannery could use those extra hands.
Nothing we can do about that.
Sure there is. We can have another zero-G.
Hey.
Oops,
I saw
right,
that.
stealing stuff.
What
Yep,
do you
hey,
think you're
sorry,
doing?
that's my bet. You know what? It's gonna take me a little while to get used to to just not picking up everything I highlight. Whatever I want. No, nothing. I didn't do anything at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just don't make any trouble for me, okay?
It's super weird that works. I mean, I guess we're just a really good liar. I gotta stop doing that, though, because it is hurting our reputation. It's just a bad habit. Years and years of playing video games, I see the E prompt, I just press E. I don't read the letters. Excuse me, Miss Kim.
I don't know you.
Sure you do. I'm the guy who just robbed you? No, I'm Alex Hawthorne, captain of the Unreliable, obviously.
Uh-huh. The Unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here.
Oh, and what a fine establishment it is.
You really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean. You got no idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles. Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt. We just got some problems lately. I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You understand.
The deserters. That's interesting. What's that?
Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you?
I mean, it doesn't sound like they wanted to stop working, just that they wanted to stop working for Spacer's Choice, which, given everything we know about Spacer's Choice, I 100% get. I'll have a drink. What do you have? Do you have any cool food items? Your merchant skill is equal to the value of your best dialogue skill and is used to negotiate prices. That's actually a really good idea. That's a cool way to implement that. Alright, so what do you have? You have... So is alcohol all the same? That's a sugary drink. Okay, just a bunch of different kinds of drinks. Well, I'm not actually sure what we would want out of any of this stuff. I guess let's not worry about it. Don't actually need a drink. Just kind of curious what she had. Alright, so I have forgotten. We had an option there to ask about Reed. I've forgotten the names of the people that we are supposed to be collecting stuff from here. None of these people are Reed. Who is Reed? I'm sure that I know this person's name. Oh, Reed Thompson. Right, R. Thompson from the repair bay, obviously. Of course. Obviously that's who it is. I was just testing all of you.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors. Plague got you feeling woozy? Get yourself boozy with Spacer's Choice.
Really hammering home the idea that Spacer's Choice doesn't want you trying to solve any problems here. Just get drunk and forget about them. I'm looking for Reed. Where can I find him?
Do you now? And what makes you think Mr. Thompson wants to talk to you? He's a busy man. You want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll summon you up to that great big tower atop the cannery, and you'll get yourself a proper dressing down.
Okay, he's in a great big tower atop the cannery. Got it. You kind of say that like it's a good thing?
It is a good thing. If you're not pulling your weight, you don't deserve to live here. Simple as that.
I might argue that no person deserves to live here. Alright, there's something else I want to ask you. Probably let's not talk about our buddy Phineas. What's your story, Amelia?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
She makes an excellent point. I'm not trying to judge you, I'm just curious.
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself.
She said, trying to convince herself that it's true. So, you had a dream of being a scientist. What happened? I don't know why this is a perception check. She literally just said this. I guess I passed the perception check to hear her.
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming? I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G?
Boy, she really has bought into the company line here. I wonder if there's something in the water. I mean, asking questions is like the foundation of science, right? The best scientists ask too many. I needed 5 points of science to know that.
Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head. Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that, I am grateful.
The idea of, like, the multi-generational nature of her servitude, basically, is really bumming me out. I would love to convince her that she does not have to live like this, but it's also not, like, directly what we're doing here. We are on a mission. I think our character is probably pretty anti-corporation, right? Like, we were a bureaucrat. But we were a bureaucrat because it was a way to steal without stealing from anyone in particular. We're sort of like Dexter, right? Dexter just loves murder, and deep down inside, he's got a need to murder. Our character has a need to fill out paperwork and take things that don't belong to him. And both of these characters, just try to find, like, the best, least destructive way to channel that urge. There we go, that's a justification I'm comfortable with. So, you've been scrubbing dishes all your life.
What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, she's right. Generally speaking, glasses gotta get cleaned, but it seems like this stuff could be, we got robots and all, is all I'm saying. So it sounds like Spacer's Choice took care of you. I'd like to put a little bit of English on that, but the character probably won't.
They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong.
Well, thanks for that deeply depressing story.
Not so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours.
Uh-oh.
So, what's your story?
Well, good that we're proficient at lying, because I may have gotten us into a little situation here. Do I just get brusque with her? Let's go this way. You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
That right? Prove it.
Okay, come on, give me the opportunity to tell a big crazy story. This might be too big and crazy. I'm not sure why this is it's weird that this is a low lie check, right? If this was like lie 70, then you're trying to actually convince her of this. But if you're not passing a very difficult lie check, then she's just gonna... The only outcome of this is she goes, okay, you're just messing with me, I get it, you don't want to tell me. In which case, why is it a lie check at all? I mean, we're gonna click on it, because I'm curious. I'm an alien spirit of pure aether, inhabiting a human body to learn about your kind.
Oof. You knocked your head in the cannery, didn't you? Injuries come out of everyone's pay. Says so right there in your contract. So, you want to tell me what your story really is?
Again, like, not really a lie check. Well, not really, I think, is maybe the correct answer. I mean, The colony ship Hope. I'm wondering how much trouble we might get Phineas in if we tell her this. We don't implicate him directly, but like people seem to know where the colony ship is, and if I start telling this story, then people are going to be able to, bad people, the corporate people, are maybe going to be able to start putting together what happened. I'm just going to keep my damn mouth shut.
Suit yourself.
It's a very out-of-character thing to do for me. Hey, see you around. Do not steal any more liquor. Resist the urge to steal all the liquor. I am going to steal this piano, though. Am I allowed to... Is anybody going to... Okay. I guess we're just allowed to be back here. Well, I'm going to steal this while standing in a position that is not visible to anybody. And listen, I'm not opposed to stealing. What I'm opposed to is getting caught. Give me all that, please. Sure, more armor mods. Someday we'll get armor that I'll feel comfortable plugging mods into. Or we'll end up with so many mods that I'll put them in my armor just to get rid of them. It really doesn't seem like I should have been allowed to come up here. Right? This is wild. And then... I was kind of expecting this to just be a bathroom. Spacer's Chaw. What is that? Have we previously seen... Okay, so it's a nicotine item. It gives you reduced ranged weapon spread and sway. Okay. We probably will not bother to use that. I mean, we've been using a gun pretty much exclusively for combat so far. There's a time that's going to come to an end, presumably, if we can find ourselves a decent melee weapon. Okay, this would be theft as well, but we're outside, we're in the open, but we're pretty well covered from people's view. We'll get a better sense over time, I'm sure, of exactly how close to people you can be and still get away with stealing. And also, apparently that's not stealing at all. Weird. Wow, hi there. Food, smokes, beer. Does this character have a name? Is his name Food, Smokes, Beer? Or maybe he's trying to explain his worldview. Listen, man, if you really think about it, food smokes beer. And everybody just kind of lets him get away with it, because look at his terrifying face. What are you going to do, argue with him? He might eat you. Discovered the general store, and we'll go in there, presently, after I've made sure that there's nothing around it to steal. Oh, hey there, person who I assume is dead. Anna, your mother passed away from plague. She wasn't chosen to receive medical treatment and failed to recover on her own. I found a excuse me. I found a site near the ocean to bury her. I know it's company policy to have her buried in the graveyard, but I just can't afford the fees. I'm heading out after dark to put her to rest. Say my final goodbyes and all. I know it's dangerous to go out alone at night, but I have to chance it. And if you're reading this, I want you to know that your mother was a good person. Don't blame her for what happened. She worked as hard as she could. It just wasn't hard enough in the end. That's just terrible. Well, the good news is that I don't feel too bad taking this scope, because I don't imagine that this person needs it. The bad news is everything else about this situation. So this is just the mother's body. I mean, will it actually be the case that she gets... Can I move her? Am I allowed to... No, all I can do is loot her. I kind of want to help with the burial, right? Is that weird? Am I inserting myself in a situation here that I don't really have a part in? It just feels so bad, so very bad. I mean, I suppose you got to give the game that it is generating some real actual
sick house is no place for a traveler.
Real actual empathy from me here.
They start asking you for some medicine, come tell me. I'll set them straight.
Notice the game does not give us the opportunity to actually do that. It's a moral judgment on the game's part. This guard is up to no good. I mean, am I allowed to go inside? Do we know that this plague is actually even a real thing? For what I was thinking when I said that was that, the guy who said he has the plague is a hypochondriac and everything. But yeah, of course, the graveyard's full of the dead. Yes, we know it's a real thing. What am I talking about? Ooh, hey, free shunt. Ah, here's what I was looking for. Yeah, man, shunts and mag picks galore as long as you are willing to go into every single nook. Every single cranny. A barbershop. Maybe I could have some trimming done on this topiary. Conrad. Are you on my list? Who's on my list? I keep forgetting. Can I... Hold on. Oh, the gravesite fees, yeah. Can I check this? Is there a way to... set active. Double click. Okay. I'm only allowed to track one quest at a time, I guess. Okay, well, keep this on my screen because... Yeah, there we go. I would like to know that I'm trying to collect stuff from people before I start talking to them, that's all.
Merciful law. Is that a marauder's outfit? I don't want you wandering into my shop wearing something you've lifted off a corpse. Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
This man and I are not going to get along. Oh, I can show you my hands all right.
No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Okay, that's interesting. Hey, buddy, for somebody who's all about the company line here, seems like you're a little bit behind on your dues.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
Well, I think there's difference of opinion on that. You mean you're broke?
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
Well, that's gonna mess up your hair. Yeah, that's some quality drama there, Conrad. You should audition.
Thank you, no. I despise the serials. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Hang on, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings.
So just give Silas an IOU.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
Why don't you pay him in acting? Here, I'll let you know if I think of anything.
Much obliged.
I'm gonna put my gun away. I'm so nervous that I'm accidentally gonna shoot somebody. Alright, well, we probably should not steal any of his stuff on account of he's looking right directly at us. Actually, I think I could maybe take this. Yeah, that worked. It shouldn't have, but it did. He has no reaction at all to me opening and closing that drawer directly behind him. Oh, hey, that's a dead body. What's going on with this person? Conrad. The receptionist shot himself. This is bad. Company's gonna have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spacer's Choice property. Eugene was an asset, and somebody has to pay his body price. This is gonna ruin us. So I was thinking we pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth, heirlooms passed down his family or something. You're processing his body, right? Just dig around and pry him out. We sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet, use the bits to pay the body price, and nobody's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back. In fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me a special signal next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Sent by Phyllis G., who is a character we have not met yet. Wait, was Phyllis the woman who wanted me to give her the medicine? I don't know. I'm real bad with names. Sorry, am I allowed to steal? Okay, no. These are just items that are on him. For a second there, I thought maybe it was offering me the ability to steal his organs, and I was like, you know, I love free stuff, but maybe not that much. Well, we could suggest to our man here, whose name I have already forgotten on account of me being bad at names, that he pay with those gold teeth, but that's going to leave Phyllis in the wind for a thing that, you know, really is not her fault. Not sure how I feel about that option. Let's see if that's actually available to us.
What can I do for you?
It is indeed. Where's this going? Medical. You sound like you've had some training. You know, I know a thing or two about medicine.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor?
Only if we use the term doctor loosely.
I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon, and if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene.
I don't actually know if that's a good number or a bad number. I'm looking to repair my ship. Seems like kind of a non sequitur, given what we're just talking about, but...
A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild. I don't approve of fantasizing. It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head.
I don't think anybody should be looking inside my head. They're not going to like what they find up there. Your vicar?
Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of scientism like a soothing balm upon a feverish head. Or so you'd expect. You'll find him in our local church, probably neglecting his duties.
Sounds like that might not be such a bad thing. You don't seem to like him much.
He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his relatively short tenure in Edgewater, gives off the distinct whiff of superiority.
Okay, well, I should go. I'm not 100% sure that I want to suggest to this guy that he used those teeth in this way. Let's see if we can figure out what's up with Phyllis first. There might be some downsides to that option, you know?
Yet? Yep. 2 whole cans of salt tuna.
And somehow managing to remain upbeat about it. It's actually very impressive. Alright. Probably finally time to go into the store. That's pretty cool.
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe salt tuna. All I've got is gourmet.
What's the difference? Am I not allowed to ask what the difference is? It seems like such an obvious question. I have some questions about that thing you just said.
Go right ahead.
Nope, still no. So, about this plague that's supposed to be going around.
Plague? I don't know anything about a plague. We are the very picture of hot-blooded physical vigor.
Is there a reason that you feel like you have to hide what's going on?
You have got the wrong idea about me. I've got nothing that needs hiding. Some of us who get sick are liable to exaggerate the conditions of that sickness, but the fact is, if you work hard, you have got no cause to worry.
That doesn't make any sense now. He's not gonna respond well to this. Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Survival of the fittest. It ain't just the law of nature, it's company policy.
Well, that's even
Medical
more
treatment
important.
is commensurate with our value to society. Spacer's Choice will dispense medicine for the indispensable worker. Natural selection at work.
For a certain definition of natural. And if you don't work hard enough?
Then the hand of medical science will not grace you with its touch, and you must recover on the virtue of your own grit. Listen, you mind if we talk about something else? Rambling about company policy gets me feeling all lightheaded.
You should go to a doctor. I don't know where you're gonna find one. Let me see what you're selling.
Music to my ears.
Show me something cool. Okay, he's got some cool stuff. He's got a great big hammer. It's a one-handed hammer, though. A telescoping staff. Yeah, it's a shame we can't find a two-handed weapon that has, like, a reasonable DPS value. Like, this impact hammer deals more damage per blow than the big two-handed things, even putting aside the DPS issue. Alright, we have an LMG, we have an assault rifle. We should probably buy all of the mag picks that we can. Yeah, I think I'm very much into this. Can we please... yeah. I think all of the mag picks and all of the bypass shunts always is probably a pretty good way to go. It is that is expensive. It is a one-handed melee weapon that is not actually even that much better than the other one. Maxwell the Silver Hammer was built with an extra weight for crushing hits to the head and other weak spots, but isn't well balanced for smooth swings. Pretty good for sneaking up on a judge though. Speed grip, I mean that's pretty expensive. Ranged weapon loud magazine changes it to corrosion. Okay, so there's some like interesting stuff on the second page here, but overall, not a lot of this is worth buying. I'm glad we got the mag picks, but that might be all we buy. We don't even really need a Drino. We have plenty. Do we want to talk to this dude anymore? So far, nobody has stopped me from trying to go anywhere. Think he'd be upset about us picking this? I mean, it's not red, right? Kind of wondering if he'll be okay with me just walking back here. He totally is. Oh, turned around. Okay. Just kind of curious here. So when it seemed like I bumped into the cash register. Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say it seemed like me bumping the cash register. It was the trigger for him to turn, but maybe not. Maybe we just stand behind him for long enough. He realizes that you're not in front of him anymore. It takes a minute, you know. Listen, everybody's got their own. Everybody considers things at their own speed here in Edgewater. So there's no way into the back of this building, right? We were back here already. There is no way to get into whatever is in that room without spending the mag picks. Do I want to? It does feel like a lot, right? I also sort of wonder if we could just, like, kill him and take whatever's in back there. Not that I think our character would do that. I'm just, like, curious about the game systems. I'm gonna hold on to our mag picks for right now. We'd probably make some extra money off of, like, stealing his extra stock from the back or whatever, but let's maybe hold on to these. As long as we have so few, let's hold on to them for something that's more obviously important, I guess. Boy, there sure are a lot of open, unlocked containers full of valuables. I mean, valuables probably too strong a word.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pass.
Just keep working. Work fortifies the spirit.
Work definitely does something to the spirit. There's no arguing that. Alright, well, this will be the chapel.
Hey.
Okay, good talk, thanks.
Our place in the universe is fixed.
Well, I mean, I suppose that depends on your frame of reference. I guess this is just mine. I'm so glad I found it. You know, I accidentally left this here. What do you mean I can't take the sick obsidian skull? Why would I leave this behind? It's ridiculous. Okay, what did I find here? Tastes like enlightenment. Apparently it's a quest item. This might look nice in one of the crew's rooms on the Unreliable. I've decided. Seems like a pretty arbitrary decision, but I'm sure it'll make more sense later. Who do I think is more important? This guy looks important. We're going to talk to him last.
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you round here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the vicar is all. None of us are above confessionals.
What have you got to confess? You ain't thinking of deserting, are you?
What? No. And I resent the accusation.
Wasn't nothing but a question. Do excuse me.
I must be on my way. Verity to you.
What an awkward little interaction.
Work fortifies the spirit.
That's a very polite way of saying, hey man, buzz off. Anything under here? Nope. Nothing tucked in behind the statues. Listen, you can never tell in one of these games. There's loot everywhere for the person who is paying enough attention to go grab it.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling?
This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
That's a weird thing to offer. How did you know I'm an outsider? Was it all of my clothes?
I've never seen you before. And there's been no paperwork indicating a transfer. Half the time it's wrong, but a new worker without paperwork? Unheard of. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal.
My face is covered, so... Oh yeah, and I'm not an ass. That makes one of us. That seems a little aggressive. You seem quite dismissive of the common man for a spiritual leader.
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town.
Isn't it your job to raise that?
Yes, but there are few who hear me in this miserable place. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here.
I mean, I don't think this is at all weird. This town is a miserable place. Let's get back on track
What would
here.
you like to discuss?
What sort of spiritual advice do you offer here?
They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No? How about, work fortifies the spirit. True exhaustion awaits idle hands.
Seriously? That's what you're selling here?
Selling? No. It is free for all who seek it.
Well, that's
I'm
not
sorry
quite
you
true.
don't find these tried and true words of wisdom to your liking.
I mean, all you've got are platitudes about enjoying your work. Have you looked around here lately?
Have you? These people need something. Anything they can grasp to survive. Delving into the metaphysical minutiae of the grand plan would be nonsense to them, if not worse. My apologies. The townsfolk are having a tough time of it, and it's been difficult for me to enrich their lives. They are good people. It is just difficult to reach them.
Seems like your message might have something to do with it. Hey, I'm looking for a power regulator. You ever heard of one of those?
Mechanical tomfoolery is well out of my purview. I suggest you take such matters to Mr. Thompson in the cannery.
Oh, we will.
And a word of warning. If you're considering wandering around outside the safety of the town, you'd best be cautious.
Yeah, I've been outside. I'm not impressed. And I can handle myself better than a vicar.
The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book.
That's interesting. And I assume you'll want to burn it once you get your hands on it?
What? No, I don't want to burn it. I would never... I mean, I just want to... Look, I have a very simple goal here. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
Okay, well that's very interesting. I definitely need to read this book now. Okay, you know what? You make a compelling argument.
Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
Yeah, definitely. I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Now that's very, very interesting. I'm stuck on a chair. Is there anything around here that I can steal? Nope, then I have lost interest in this place. Let's move on. Alright, there is another one of the people that we are supposed to be collecting stuff from. Wait, Ludwig Miller is out. This goes outside, doesn't it? Yeah. Alright, well, we'll check in on him later. Phyllis Granger, who is a person that we have interest in knowing about anyway, is this away, so I suppose this is the way we're going.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders. We all got quotas to make.
I assume his quota is mostly in harassment. Alright, looks like there's not a lot else to steal around here. What is this?
Don't make me report you to Mr. Thompson.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like he's particularly invested in keeping us out, so let's go in here and steal everything. Is this... Let's see, so that could be the tower where Mr. Thompson is. This might be one of the cannery buildings. I mean, it's certainly a lot larger than a lot of the other buildings around here. I guess let's check it out. Hey, I did discover a vending machine. What do you know? Does it sell anything particularly interesting? Dervish mist. Looks like the answer is probably no. Shotgun, basic assault rifles, some kind of sword. Yeah, nothing really mind-blowing. This is a slightly better helmet than we have on now, but only very, very slightly. We should try to get access to the restricted stock. It seems like a really good source of mag picks. Is there anybody else in here? I mean, it doesn't look like anybody's... Yeah, I'm just gonna steal that. It's gonna help myself to that weapon part that I almost certainly don't need. But listen, it's not about having the thing. It's about the thrill of taking the thing. Does all this food have weight? Because we're picking up a ton of food, and I don't think I'm actually going to use very much of it. Ooh, it totally does have weight. All right, so we'll wanna sell off some of this excess food at some point. All right, what does this big machine do? Well, it turns out I can't interact with it, so who cares? We probably should not kick the canning machine, and just for the sake of your foot, I'm going to take this. That's mine. I don't know who we're going to put this on, but we'll find somebody. Maybe Mr. Thompson. Oh, hey. A guy who might have seen me stealing. I didn't realize you were here.
You're safer inside the walls.
Yeah, I guess. Safer from a certain kind of marauder. Way more likely to run into a different kind of marauder. Is this the way that we were supposed to come in? Yep, that does seem like the intended door. Guess the receptionist is on break. I'll just take these and also whatever's in here. Terminal access. Let's look at the logs. The Edgewater Saltuna canning facility strictly adheres to Spacer's Choice standards of health and safety. Notice, schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and/or supervisor. Be considerate toward other members of the Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Lost hours must be compensated to the company. See Reed if you're having trouble paying for your sick leave. We'll try to arrange wage deductions instead. Well, isn't that nice of them? Remember, work invigorates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind and sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with the vicar. Well, I think we've got the feel of this place pretty well down at this point. I'm sure that's just an elevator call. Hold on, we're not ready to go upstairs just yet. I have a feeling, a vague feeling, that I might not have stolen everything yet, and I don't much care for this feeling, so we're going to correct it. Oh, that's interesting. Trying to stand up on the railing here. It's more difficult than you might expect. That was not even worth the jumping. Well, we can't mantle, so I think it's probably just back down to the floor. So where is that guard? Does that guard just patrol over on that side of the room? So I want to keep stealing things, obviously, but I also don't want to get shot in the face on account of stealing things. My favorite consequence of theft is having things. My least favorite is being shot. A low-pressure suit. Alright, I mean, it's clothes. It'll probably sell reasonably. I didn't actually look at the price on there. This is 3 mag picks. I mean, it's not that many. And what are the odds? What are the odds that this is actually anything good? I'm going to save them. Company notifications from the Office of Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. Symptoms of infection have now reached a critical mass. I have instructed our staff to transform the old domicile into a sick house. Plague is a reality of life on the frontier. And as spacers, we are expected to face up to reality. And the reality is that we do not carry enough medicine to treat all of you. Medical treatment is a privilege, not a right. We must strive every day to demonstrate our worthiness of that privilege. If you find yourself suffering the symptoms of incipient plague, the best thing you can do for yourself and for your family is to don your jumpers and come to work. Work fortifies the spirit, physical illness recapitulates spiritual weakness, and also we're relatively confident that the plague is not communicable, I guess? Because you would think that coming to work while sick might, devastate the workforce in a way that would be bad for productivity and thus for profit. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here. Hey, hi.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
You don't look that busy, if I'm being honest. Gravesite fees. I'm here to collect because I magically know your name even though we just met this second.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
We'll see. These papers aren't signed in your name?
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
You have to pay for your neighbor's gravesite fees?
If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
Yes, that is why this is a shame. You said he shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
He was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Well, that's just luck, I guess. Must be tough losing family. Although this does explain why there was no receptionist in this building to keep me from just going where I want to go.
Eugene wasn't family.
I thought you said you were his closest living relative?
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the
Okay.
one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
So what do? Arrest his corpse?
When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
Would've, so you didn't.
Look around. Edgewater ain't exactly swimming in luxury. We can't afford to pay the body price of a suicide. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Okay, well that's grim as hell, and I'll let you get back to work. Listen, I did what I came here to do. Are you going in there? No, you're just getting really weirdly close to me before turning? I get it, it's performance art. The guy's just demonstrating what a big fan he was of Get Out. A toss ball blocker, free assault rifle. Really shouldn't just leave those sitting around in unlocked cabinets. Nothing over there. This is Phyllis Granger's terminal. Messages. Welcome, Phyllis Granger. From R. Thompson. Phyllis, owing to your hard work and positive attitude, I have sanctioned your access to medical treatment in the event of contagion. As you know, the company has not provided us with enough medicine to treat every worker. I wish I could treat every member of the Spacer's Choice family who fell ill to this plague, but I cannot. Medical privileges are strictly merit-based. Please do not, under any circumstance, distribute your ration of medication to any other worker. We're all in we're all in this together. Alright, what about her personal files? Password required. Well, here's the good news. I have 5 hacking. As does basically everybody, right? Like, isn't almost any character you build gonna have 5? Alright, password accepted. It turns out it was Tenderfoot. Personal files, last entry. Theodore buried last night. Reed asked me not to report his death in our quarterlies. Sounds fair to me. Was asked to prepare a statement or something for the other workers. Been thinking about it. Don't know what to tell him. Don't end up like Theodore? Do your work, show up, wear a smile, and you'll get your medical privileges? That's a start. This town is bumming me out, and I would like to leave. We need to talk to Mr. Thompson, get that thing, and get the hell out of here. I suppose we ought to help people, as best we can. I mean, does anybody need these sprat hides? Can I just take these? You know, they're worth something. And I guess this is the sprat disposal system. There must be a lot of them in the cannery, I'm assuming. Alright, did we steal everything down here already? I think we did. Just double checking. I'd hate to just leave stuff where we found it. Okay, wow, there are a lot of dead sprats in here. You should be, like, doing something with these. It is wild to me that they think it's appropriate to just leave these things sitting everywhere. Alright, unlocked terminal. What is this? The lost and found notifications. Found 1 left hand severed at the wrist, some bone damage. Yeah, I imagine. People, this is our 2nd unscheduled amputation in as many months. Please exercise caution and safety around the machinery. Maintenance fees will be deducted from your pay. Just like everything else. So, like, they're really trying to drive this thing home. I wonder if they might be overdoing it, but like part of the trick with the design like this is that you can't necessarily guarantee that a player is being thorough. Somebody may very well loose lips, pink slips. Somebody may very well just miss a bunch of these conversations and not check every computer and stuff. So I don't know. There's probably some people have done some research on this and figured out the number of instances of an idea you need to put in an area to be relatively certain that each player will see at least a couple of them. Basically what I'm saying is, I think they're overdoing it a little bit, but that might just be because we're so extremely good at the game. I don't want to say legendary, but if you wanted to say legendary, I would not argue with you. Well, even more stuff to steal. Or maybe not. I thought that was a container. I think it's just one of those barrels that blows up if you shoot at them. I probably could have just fallen this distance pretty safely. What is this? This looks important. Oh, it's a power regulator. That is important. If we turn off the cannery system here, the whole town's completely screwed though, right? Alright, running self-examination. Help yourself to a refreshing tin of Spacer's Chaw while you wait. Yes, nothing more refreshing than tobacco. Alright, power source, electrical transformer, transformer status responsive, power regulator responsive. Query geothermal facility? So I'm thinking this is a classic Fallout problem. Before we go stealing the power regulator, we probably want to try to get them on some other source of power. Seems like a geothermal vent of some kind might be useful in that regard. The Emerald Vale region is powered by the Spacer's Choice geothermal facility. Spacer's Choice is proud to bring the colonists of Halcyon moderately innovative technology at a reasonable price. Spacer's Choice, the best you can afford. Let's not press the disengage power regulator button just yet. Right, because everybody is always telling us how everything comes out of everybody's paycheck. If we kill the power regulator here, the whole town's going to starve, right? We'll just, we'll take a look around. We'll consider things a little bit more before we go doing something as drastic as all that. We should probably talk to Mr. Thompson, right? At the very, very least. So I think we just want to go outside here, because it doesn't look like the interior has a way of getting to where we're going. If indeed it is that tower. Is there a way for me to get in through here? We were not super thorough in this area before. Okay, this is weird. This is a conspicuous little side area. Hey, that's 13 bits right there. Well, it sure doesn't look like there's a way for me to climb over anything here. Like, we could jump up on this and try to get on that. Now that thing's sloped, I can't stand on it. Alright, let's look for another way in. So let's see, we've been down this hallway already, or this alleyway already. We started the episode right there. It's been 50 minutes and we've traveled a grand total of 3 feet. Sounds like SB playing an RPG. Is this a building I'm allowed to go in? No, it is not. Alright, well, there is another door over here to an area that I don't think we've been inside. Oh no, okay, it's this room. I totally missed this, though. Only you can protect fourth quarter profits. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I heard that somewhere before. Alright, well, nobody's around. A model spaceship. This model, made of metal and wood and a generous amount of pungent resin, is perfect for a collector or just a child who dreams of adventures among the stars, before they disabuse themselves of that notion, right? What do we got over here? Ooh, a locked locker. We're starting to accumulate enough mag picks that we could probably afford to open something that's not all that important and still be able to pick an important lock should we find one. But my suspicion is random lockers not really going to be worth our spending our picks on. Alright, do you by any chance have any unlocked mag picks or anything? Nope, you got a big hammer. I mean, do I want a 142 DPS hammer? Do I want to spend money on this? It's like all of our money. No, probably not. My sword's doing just fine for the moment. Yes, we read this. So there's a door on the other side of this room. But isn't that, Oh, we don't know where that is, actually. Hold on, we could figure it out, though. Nope, it would be on the other side of that wall. Whatever that door is, it goes to a part of the cannery that we haven't had access to yet, I think. So it would be... Let's see. Yeah, it'd be just deeper in. Well, that very well may be where we're going. Ludwig Miller is outside. Let's see if we can figure out a way through there. So there's no entrance into this room that we can see except for that door. I'm going to guess that this glass is not breakable, but we are absolutely going to try it in a second here, just as soon as I make sure, yeah, I didn't miss any like obvious controls or anything. Probably this door has to be unlocked by somebody else. We're just going to try something here. What weapons do I have on me? Okay, this is the one that isn't a gun. Hey, what a surprise. That doesn't work. I'm not going to spend ammunition, mostly because I'm afraid that if we fire one of our guns, it's going to draw the attention of every person around here in a way that's not great for me. I'm not actually that worried about spending the bullet. So if we switch back to Stranger in a Strange Land... Oh, right, the elevator. There's an elevator. That's where we should probably look. I saw this several times, and I was like, you know what? We'll come back here after we look at everything else. But apparently, I have some memory retention problems. You know, it's probably an artifact of the cryosleep process. Parts of your brain just atrophy.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir.
Seems we've got a guest.
Whoa.
Really
Sorry,
now,
that's my
Papa, I
bad.
do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
I do tend to just pop up. You must be... You know what? I'll wait until you're finished.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just... old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I think we know who she is. Are you Reed? I'm not telling people that my name is SB. Come on. Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
I mean, this is my uniform. Listen, buddy, I think you might have the wrong idea about me.
Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Can't imagine why. Yeah, my ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Okay, I'm down. Let's hear it.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned...
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Oh, gee, what a surprise. I never would have guessed.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Well, listen, if you want me to solve your deserter problem, I charge by the head. Listen, my rates are very reasonable.
Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Well, we will definitely be having a chat with Adelaide. How will I recognize her?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
And if she doesn't want to come back?
That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
I don't know, man. That feels unlikely to me given what has happened so far. Yeah, alright, Reed. I'll see what I can do to help you. Obviously, we're not intending to actually help him.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
That does sound like a good idea, because I am not going to be able to do anything with any of these machines other than lie to them and hit them with a hammer.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
It is, yes. It's extremely weird that you just asked me this out of the blue. Alright, let's get going. You've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support, their skills enhance your skills, they increase your carrying capacity, and you can unlock special companion combat abilities with the Inspiration skill, which we have a fair amount of. So the suggestion here, Parvati, this companion ledger shows you everything you need to know about your companions. You can see their skills, stats, status effects, and gear. To change your companion's gear, first select the item you want to swap out, then choose a compatible item to replace it with. You can also change how they behave in combat. Okay. So it seems like it's saying she doesn't have her own inventory. She's just like, as long as she's with me, I effectively have her inventory added to mine. Does she have... She has a fancy electrical hammer. That's pretty cool. She has a really bad pistol. Do we have any indication of, like, her skills, what she's good at? Basically, like, what kind of weapons I should be giving her? Or is she... Oh, interesting. She has her own perks. I wonder if we'll have to pay for these with our perk points, or if she'll get her own as we level up. She's wearing mechanics overalls, which seems like a reasonable thing to do. I mean, this low-pressure suit is just strictly better. I suppose. Coming with me. Oh, you know what, though? I don't know how long she'll be with us. Like, I assume we're able to recruit her permanently, but there might be a little bit of stuff we have to do here first. Like, she might be with us temporarily for the moment, and then we unlock her later. So let's not give her a bunch of my stuff just yet. The codex is glowing for some reason. I wish it would tell me what thing it wants me to click on here. Some people may require completing another quest before they'll assist you. Sure, that makes sense. Alright, you know what? I'll figure out all of these things and click on them so that stops glowing later. Alright, well, I guess we have some idea where we're going. She does not have a lot of carrying capacity. I guess, you know, she's carrying a lot of her own stuff.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Hey, that's a really good idea, actually. Is there anything around here? I mean, I'm not going to take any stuff. There's a door over here that cannot be unlocked with lockpicking skill alone. I guess let's get a move on. I wonder exactly how much she's going to open up to me once we're out of earshot. Also, we have her abilities down there in the corner, I guess.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Well, we have done that.
Mister, can we talk?
I'm trying.
Can we talk?
Yes. Does this work now?
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Alright, I don't really need to be handheld through the idea that we shouldn't doom all of these people. But okay, let's hear it. This is about the deserters, so what's the other side of it?
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town has some issues.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Do we feel like Max is gonna be sympathetic, really? I mean, what do we need to talk to the vicar about? Flipping a switch in a power mill?
About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all.
I notice we have the option to ask her about the book. That's interesting.
Books are for rich folk. I wonder what he wants with something like that.
Maybe painting with too broad of a brush here. Alright, I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Sure, I mean, as long as you understand what definitions you're using for right and wrong and where they come from, I agree. Alright, well, seems like we've gotten ourselves embroiled in a thing here, and that is a problem that we can solve in tomorrow's episode, because of course we are out of time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. You know, it's, so far, it's pretty much what I expected it to be, and I mean that in the best possible way. Come back next time, tomorrow, to see how exactly we betray Reed Thompson, because let's be honest, that's definitely what we're doing, right? And we'll see you then.